I'm Troy Washington, working for you on the east side, where neighbors want to put a stop to car break-ins. Coming up, we'll tell you what they want the city to do to bring them out of the shadows.
Veterans Court is everything that a struggling veteran needs. It's not going to be what they want.
A program getting results in Hamilton County. It's focused on helping veterans get a second chance at life. We'll show you how.
Tonight, new details about a woman found murdered on the grounds of an Indianapolis Catholic church.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Now at 5, we're delving into an ongoing problem which has been plaguing people who live or work on Indianapolis's east side.
They're fed up with a string of car break-ins, and they've tried reaching out to the city multiple times for help. Now they're turning to RTV6 to get the results they say they desperately need.
Working for you, RTV6's Troy Washington has more on how shining light could solve the problem.
Eastside residents have a plan to put a stop to crime. They say if the city gives them more light, the bad guys won't have anywhere to hide.
It's dark. It's so dark that you couldn't see to identify somebody if they were out there.
Street lights are few and far in between on Bauer Street, and those who live here think that's sending the wrong signal.
They broke in my niece's car and stole her work backpack and her prescription glasses.
Lately, there's been an uptick in car break-ins, valuables disappearing once darkness falls.
There was a gun stolen out of a lady's car, not even 3 or 4 houses down.
Amy Guerrero is only one of the latest victims.
One of ours, but there was 3 in one day down the street.
Over on 19th Street, it's not looking much brighter.
The street lights are broken.
We counted 1 working street light on Bauer, and Amy McGinnis tells us the light right outside her place works fine. But in order to scare bad guys, there needs to be more light.
I believe that people are hitting in those areas where the street lights are out.
Neighbors say they are flooding the mayor's action center at this point, requesting more street lights through Operation Nightlight, in hopes they won't have to rely on their porch light much longer to keep crooks away. Working for you on the east side, Troy Washington, RTV6.
As of October 31st, the city approved 912 lights for installation through the Nightlight program. We reached out to the Mayor's Action Center, and they tell us they have received requests from Eastside residents. And new information about a woman found dead Sunday at an Indianapolis Catholic church in Fountain Square. The Marion County coroner reported today that the 58-year-old Julie Morey was strangled and stabbed multiple times. She was found dead Sunday morning inside the Religious Education Center at St. Patrick Catholic Church on Prospect Street. We checked with IMPD today, and they have no new information to share about this case. If you have any info, contact Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
Now time for your Storm Team 6 forecast, and the sun finally had a chance to peek out late this afternoon, but now we're going to see temperatures falling.
The sun looks good. It doesn't really change the temperature
right
much.
At all.
Consider this practice for tomorrow and especially early next week. Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. That north wind is taking over, and that's driving our temperatures closer to the freezing mark. Lafayette and Peru at 34, 35 in Indy. I mentioned the wind. It's settling in, a north-northwest wind, grabbing hold of drier air. The clouds are beginning to clear, and then also setting the stage for these temperatures just to continue to fall. It feels like 26. We're duty-bound to talk wind chill temperatures. That's one of the cooler spots. 26 also in Peru, and the skies that were absolutely overcast this morning and early afternoon now showing a little life here just before sunset. Skies clear. The wind will calm down a little bit. That will help these temperatures fall off. We're going below freezing. 10 o'clock tonight will be at 28. It will be dry and cold, obviously. Tomorrow morning, and as you look at these temperatures, they are not the coldest temperatures in the 7-day planner, despite temperatures dropping into the teens. From Lafayette to Muncie north, we'll highlight even colder temperatures coming up.
The number of school districts closing to take part in Go Red for Ed on November 19th continues to grow. Teachers from around the state are making plans to attend a union-organized State House rally that day. They plan to send a message to state lawmakers calling on them to make public schools a priority and generate a bigger boost in school funding in the next legislative session. They chose November 19th because that's the day lawmakers will be at the State House to organize for the session that begins in early January. The Indiana State Teachers Association Administration says at least 4,000 teachers have registered. Districts in our area that will be closed or have e-learning on November 19th include IPS, Wayne Township Schools, Anderson, Beech Grove, Greencastle, and that list is expected to grow.
RTV6 is working for you, finding out how a program in Hamilton County is giving veterans a second chance. Many of those being helped are facing prison time, but as our Nicole Griffin is finding out, it's not something many people know about, and one veteran says it's helped change his life.
Corporal Kyle Reynolds spent 4 years in the U.S. Marines. The gunsmith did one tour in Afghanistan, but he was eventually medically discharged after getting in a near-fatal crash that left him with a traumatic brain injury.
I couldn't stay in, and not being able to make that decision myself, that's the hardest part with separating. I still think about being in the Marines every day and where I would be, what I would be doing, and so I don't think that'll ever change.
After returning home from active duty, Kyle says he developed a drinking problem. Since 2012, he's been arrested 5 times. The last time was for intimidating an officer, assaulting an officer, and disorderly conduct.
My family had they had dubbed a name for me when I drank, and it was Other Kyle. It was almost like this alternate personality comes out of me. They don't know who I am.
After getting arrested that last time, Kyle was informed about a program here in Hamilton County called Veterans Court. It aims to break the criminal cycle of veterans.
Veterans Court is a program within the court system that helps veterans that have had some problems, and we believe in giving them a second chance. They served our country, and this way it's a program that can help them with the problems that they created. Most of them were created through the military.
Veterans Court has 3 phases: treatment, education, growth, and graduation. Kyle says it changed his life.
Veterans Court is everything that a struggling veteran needs. It's not going to be what they want.
He hopes by sharing his stories, other veterans in Hamilton County who need help and are in the court system will know this is an option for them too. Working for you in Hamilton County, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And Veterans Court is part of a national judicial model and exists in other courthouses across the state. There are requirements. You cannot take part if you are facing charges of murder, rape, or child molestation. The prosecutor reviews each case and determines if Veterans Court is the right fit.
Well, the Colts are another day closer to their Week 10 matchup against Miami.
And it's an important game as the Colts try to keep pace with the division-leading Texans. Brad Brown is here with the latest on Indy's quarterback situation.
Mark and Amanda, good evening. Jacoby Brissett did not return to last Sunday's game at Pittsburgh when he went down with what turned out to be a strained knee ligament. At the time, it looked like something that could end his season, but it seems that Brissett could be back far sooner than we thought. Back at practice again this afternoon, a heavy brace remains on that left knee. It was Jacoby's MCL, medial collateral ligament, that was strained. Officially listed as limited in Thursday's practice, but let's be honest, that is far more than we would have expected just 72 hours ago. On the other end of the quarterback connection, or rather not so much this season, has been tight end Eric Ebron. After 13 touchdowns last year, his numbers are quite a ways down. Ebron is hoping to change that, and he's not afraid to ask for the ball either.
As a player, I'd be wrong to say I'm not frustrated, but as a competitor and as a team player, I'm not too mad when we win. So, yeah, it's definitely frustrating, but we'll see how it goes. You want to be that player that your team wants you to be, and you want to be that player that you know you are. And it's only right that, you know, if your coach is going to hear you and that he has that respect level for you, then, you know, you approach him with the same level of respect on how you can help your team. And I think me and Frank had a great conversations, and we'll pick it up.
Ebron is having a decent first half of 2019, but compared to the huge stats he had a year ago, it is quite a ways off. 13 touchdowns led the Colts a year ago, and his 66 catches were second only to T.Y. Hilton. You could see the comparison through the first half of this year. We'll see how the back half of this season adds up, but I suspect you'll see some more tosses going to the tight end, and really all the tight ends, at some point soon. 2 receivers and 2 quarterbacks missed today with injuries. That'd be Paris Campbell and T.Y. Hilton. Pierre Desir and Quincy Wilson out as well. Tomorrow we'll bring a more solid answer as to whether any of those guys are ready for Sunday. Same for the QB call. It could come down to being a game-time decision ultimately on Sunday. We shall see. Mark?
All right, Brad. And also Sunday's game will see the return of fan favorite Dwight Freeney. At halftime, he'll be inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor. Freeney played 11 seasons with the Colts as defensive end from 2002 to 2012 after being selected by the team in the first round of the 2002 NFL Draft. In 2018, he signed a one-day contract to retire with the Colts after 16 seasons in the NFL. He ranks second in franchise history in sacks and forced fumbles. He will become the 16th honoree in the Ring of Honor.
You can now start getting your season tickets for the 2020 Colts season. They go on sale today. The home schedule includes games against the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, Baltimore Ravens, and Cincinnati Bengals. Season tickets come with a lot of perks, so if you're a big fan, it's worth it.
Still ahead on the Now Indy at 5:30 on RTV6. You're getting engaged, and that means an expensive diamond. Or does it? Your options: many younger couples are choosing to not start married life in debt.
But first, the young boy's 911 call that had a happy ending and a full stomach.
Certainly cold temperatures in the forecast. You've heard about that, but there's a briefly warmer day that lines up with your weekend. We'll have details on that coming up.
At Ross, yes for less.
Now to the impeachment inquiry of President Trump. Today, an advisor to Vice President Pence, who was on that phone call between President Trump and Ukraine's leader, testified behind closed doors. Meantime, Pence says President Trump did nothing wrong during the call. ABC's Serena Marshall has the latest from Washington.
The Vice President defending his boss in the impeachment inquiry.
There was no quid pro quo, and the president did nothing wrong.
As an aide to his office, Jennifer Williams testifies on Capitol Hill, answering questions about that infamous July 25th call she was also listening in on as a longtime State Department employee. Her closed-door testimony occurring as the president's Secretary of State ducked a question on whether he ignored pleas from one-time top aide Michael McKinley to publicly back the former ambassador to Ukraine, Marie Yovanovitch, after the president called her bad news on the call with Ukraine's leader.
I haven't had the chance. It's a pretty busy world out there. Haven't had a chance to follow this.
In released transcripts, McKinley states he appealed to Pompeo 3 separate times to help Yovanovitch, a claim Pompeo denied just last month.
I never heard him say a single thing about his concerns with respect to the decision.
So you were now saying?
Also, it's not surprising that when Ambassador Yovanovitch returned to the United States that he didn't raise that issue with me. It shouldn't surprise anyone that in May, when that took place, he didn't say a thing to me.
But McKinley told lawmakers the conversation occurred between the release of the call notes in early September and when he resigned at the end of the month. Next week, the first public hearings begin, and the American people will be able to hear for themselves. But the president now suggesting former Vice President Biden and his son be called to testify. But even one of his chief defenders says
he wants them called in the trial.
Yes.
Oh, well, we'll make that decision, not the president.
And we've now learned from multiple sources that Democrats are considering drafting as many as 3 articles of impeachment against the president, including contempt of Congress, obstruction of justice, and abuse of power. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Police near Phoenix, Arizona got a strange call recently, but one officer turned it into a teachable moment with a happy ending. Mesa police got a 911 call from a 5-year-old boy. He did not have an emergency. He just wanted to order a Happy Meal from McDonald's. And as you can see from this picture on the department's Facebook page, Mesa officer Scott Valdez delivered the food in person to Charlie, along with some advice about the proper time to use 911. Charlie's dad had called the dispatcher to say his son got his cell phone and there was not an emergency, but Officer Valdez still stopped by anyway with that food and advice.
I like that he made it into a teachable moment.
Yes.
When he was hungry, I don't know.
And got a Happy Meal.
And it is like the 40th anniversary of the Happy Meal, isn't it?
Right.
No, they've got all those new toys in it or something.
Yeah, so
throwback toys.
The little guy was just responding to advertising. That's why we love that. Let's see some beauty in this great day. There it is.
Pretty.
Down on, well, no ice yet, but it won't be long.
You said yet, yes.
Yeah, on the edges of the downtown canal. Still a few leaves in the trees. The story over the next few days will be the temperature bouncing around. It's not just all cold temperatures. We've got bookends. Friday, tomorrow, and Monday that will be very cold in between, perfectly timed for your weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures relatively mild, especially Sunday, but I just warn you, the warmer it feels Sunday, the colder it will feel early next week. I've enjoyed watching this. I've had a stark line, just a sharp line between the overcast skies and clearing conditions, and the clear skies winning out. 26 in Minneapolis, 49 down in Nashville. The cooler air is sinking to the south and east and obviously taking control here for a good 24 hours on the north wind. Once the wind shifts as we get to the weekend, that will give us a temporary break from the cold temperatures. 33 in Tipton, 35 in Indy, keep in mind. 57 is your average high this time of year. We'll be nowhere near that until Sunday. For the evening hours, nice evening to go for a walk. The sun has now come out. It will be a clear evening and the wind calms down. Say hello to Hannah Sue. It seems like someone just called her name.
Hannah Sue.
And she's reporting for her walk.
Hello.
Thanks to Bonnie and John, their loyal viewers. Thanks for sending in Hannah's picture. You too can send your pet's picture to me at kevin.gregory@wrtv.com. Planning your Friday. Cold start. Temperatures in the teens outlying areas, 22 in Indianapolis, to the freezing mark at noon and only into the mid-30s in most locations during the afternoon hours. Sets up what will be a cool Friday night. Temperatures well below average. We're going to be in many cases 20 to 25 degrees below average as we get into next week. Friday night football, nice night. Little breeze, temperatures dropping into the 20s during the game. So we mentioned over the weekend, Sunday, the warmer of the 2 days. Clouds will increase as we go through the day. Slight chance of a rain-snow mix later Sunday night, setting us up for, I think, Monday, some light snow as the colder air arrives. Saturday, one headline, the strong wind out of the southwest gusting over 20 miles per hour. There are your Saturday temperatures into the low to mid 40s. Saturday high temperatures from north to south, all in the 40s. Warmest day really sticks out on Sunday. Temperatures in the 50s. Veterans Day, light snow, falling temperatures, may see light snow accumulation. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, close to record temperatures both mornings. 17 Tuesday, 15 Wednesday.
All right, we held it off long enough. Winter is
here it comes.
Here it comes.
It is pretty much here. Well, it's the time of year when you're going to start seeing all kinds of holiday lights with that cold weather we're getting in. Today, the Indianapolis Zoo announced the Christmas at the Zoo is nominated for USA Today's 10 Best Zoo Lights. It's the 5th straight nomination. The zoo has finished in the top three times and would really like to make it to the top this year. So you can vote daily through Monday, December 2nd. You can find a link in this story on the IndyChannel.com. And many people are getting in the Christmas spirit, including the president's re-election campaign. Today, the campaign unveiled holiday-themed merchandise, including a Santa hat ornament, Trump-Pence wooden semi-truck, and train set, and Trump-Pence Christmas wrapping paper.
Well, look at that. Looking for a musical gift for someone? Singer Michael Bublé is coming to Indianapolis, and tickets go on sale just in time for Christmas. Bublé will perform at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on April 1st. Tickets go on sale Monday, November 18th at 10 a.m. He's already completed 5 sold-out world tours, won 4 Grammys, and sold more than 60 million records during his career.
Mark, I'm just saying a Christmas present for me, maybe.
You got it.
Posters to help kids by kids, and with a serious message, how parents and teachers can get their students involved.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
Good afternoon. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott with Court TV. The state is in day 2 of its case-in-chief in a quadruple murder trial out of Tallahassee, Florida. Now, scientific evidence has ruled the day. Court started with testimony of the medical examiner who performed the autopsies of all 4 victims. 41-year-old Henry Segura is accused of murdering his girlfriend, Brandy Peters, her twin daughters, and the couple's 3-year-old son. This is a death penalty case. Prosecutors say his motive was avoiding possible jail time for back child support he owed in the amount of more than $20,000. Another man, James Carlos Santos, has confessed to ordering the murders, saying Peters had been stealing drug money from him. Now, he is currently in prison on unrelated charges, and we expect him to plead the fifth when the state calls him to the stand. But you never know what's going to happen. This is a retrial, and Segura is expected to testify. As always, count on Court TV for gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Judge Ashley Wilcott. Now back to you in the studio.
And you can learn more about other cases around the nation right now at courttv.com.
Only on RTV6, we highlight jobs, education, and resources with hiring Hoosiers. And tonight, we're seeing success with Indiana employers creating jobs for veterans. The U.S. Department of Labor is presenting Hire Vets Medallion Awards to 12 Indiana companies, including a couple here in the area. Freedom Staffing, LLC in Indianapolis, Curtis Construction in Carmel, and Analytical Engineering, Inc. in Columbus. They're all on the list because they demonstrated a commitment to hiring veterans and helping them to develop meaningful long-term careers.
Indiana fifth graders are being asked to harness their creativity and take part in the 2020 Indiana Missing Children's Day poster contest. State Police and the U.S. Justice Department are partnering to promote the contest. You are looking at the top 3 entries from the 2019 contest. May 25th is National Missing Children's Day. The contest deadline is February 7th. Parents and schools can learn more about the rules and how to submit an entry in the story on the IndyChannel.com. All new at 6 p.m. and only on RTV6. Schools learning how to take a different approach to disciplining students. A first-hand look at the training to see how it could impact your child.
But first on the Now Indy, diamonds don't always have to be a girl's best friend. The choice some couples are making when getting engaged that doesn't involve a diamond.